The thriving arts and culture scene in Perth is seeing a rise in artists every single day. Today, I'm here at the Akora residence to meet the Akora sisters. One is a renowned fashion designer who has a label under her own name, and the other a comic book artist with 2 books under her belt. Let's meet them and check it out.
Well, I grew up watching my mom, so that's where I also found a passion for it. So when I told her I wanted to be a designer, in Africa, maybe not so possible, but here in Australia, she has always encouraged us to follow our dreams. And when she just saw the response to my design, she just said, why not? Go for it. So my mom has been very supportive. My dad was a little bit apprehensive at the beginning, but since then, when he has seen that my clothes are now being stocked in boutiques in the US and also in Asia, he's sort of jumped on board. So that has been really great. Of course, my youngest sister, Regina, she's a comic book artist, and she was the only one in our family to take art seriously and study it. So she inspires me and gives me courage to keep on going.
I actually started off because I remember when I was in university, we were going to have a unit that was creating books. And I said, I'm about 20 years old and I haven't really done anything with my life. So I decided that maybe I should get myself some manga paper from online and just start creating my own work. My main character, Miki, was like part half and half. She was half French and half Japanese. Because I realized there's not that much diversity in terms of those kind of books. They're all Asian or they're all Caucasian. So it wasn't really helping, readership-wise. And I remember I actually met a reader that was half Japanese and half French, so that actually added to it. I made sure to mix it both with the mafia and baking because I wanted something sweet, but I also wanted a fun story to add with it. So I started that and I just kept concepting on days, and my tutor really helped me with that, Paul. And eventually I managed to create my book series, and continuously throughout my degree I was trying to develop it and trying to make it something more than what it is, and it blew up in those past few years. So far, I've got most of my books which I collect in one volume, which is 4 chapters each. So I've got 2 books out, but I actually release them chapter by chapter. So it's kind of a mixture of an American comic publishing and also Japanese publishing. So I kind of tend to do that, and I always sell them at Tokyo Underground, and they've been so supportive with all of them.
What used to be my interest come out to surface in my children, and differently. For example, from primary school, I could tell with us that had talent in all her school assignments. She would really present them in such beautiful attire, She would draw pictures next to her assignments, and she always got stars from her teacher because of that. When Jean came, and I couldn't believe to see that the kind of art she was gravitating towards was comics. And back in Africa, I really loved comics. I always looked at these old magazines and went to the comic pages. But it is something I never discussed with my children. Now to see that one of them was really talented in comics, I couldn't believe. And so they just went to school like ordinary children. And each of those talents, they just kept maintaining them. All I needed to do was get them whatever they needed, the equipment, the pencils and, papers for drawing, and just encourage them.
But locally, it's really been the people. They've been so supportive. My models they've followed me, my entire career, as short as it is, and they're 100% behind me. So that has been really great, just to see that within Australia there is so much local support from people, from the media.
A lot of things that my tutor asked me was that, do you see anybody else in Perth doing what you're doing? And in that way, she wanted to encourage me to also seek a different career. But I say that's the reason why I'm doing it, because nobody else is doing it. How can somebody not do anything and expect something to grow out of it?
This is Deepika Raj signing off for Undercurrent.